They want you. Wait now.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's masterclass. My name is Oluwakemsola Esijela, and I'll be the moderator for today's class. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, Kemi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Juliet. So I would like to introduce a few people before we start. Our speaker today is going to be Ms. Samuiwa Bolarewa. Is here with us. Welcome, Mr. Muiwa.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Yes. So let me just give you a quick introduction to Mr. Muiwa before he starts the class. Mr. Muiwa Bolarewa is an astute estate surveyor, public speaker, corporate trainer, NGO consultant, and organizational development specialist. His over 13 years of field experience has spanned through the real estate, banking, consulting, training, and NGO spheres. Mr. Muiwa bagged his first degree from Federal University of Technology, Akure, and his MBA, where he specialized in human resources from the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. Mr. Muiwa Bolarewa, MBA, is currently the CSR Partnership Manager at the Sterling Oil Exploration Company, Lagos, where he manages partnerships, engagements with external stakeholders, both governmental and non-governmental. Prior to his current role, he was the Ogun State Program Manager at Terra Academy for the Arts, TAFTA, and the Executive Director of Interbao Foundation, IBF, where he worked with German delegations in Nigeria to train over 10,000 females in construction skills. At the moment, Mr. Muiwa also serves as the lead consultant of HR Workplace, a career coaching, organizational development, and recruitment outfit based in Lagos. Mr. Muiwa has, in the course of his career, trained tens of thousands of youths on various life issues such as self-discovery, self-development, job getting, career development, networking, and the likes. Welcome, Mr. Muyiwa, to today's masterclass, where we're going to be educating people on how to handle job interview preparation and how to answer questions during an interview. Welcome, sir.
All right, thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Muyiwa. Sorry, I'm still using my phone. I'm having issues setting up the system right now, but I think we're going to start. And along the line, we can have a system and we're going to be using the system. If for a second, yeah, okay. If for a second, I think if you will help me, I don't mind if I can just see our faces at least just as a way to start. I don't know. It seems I'm the only person in here as I'm seeing nobody's face. I've just seen my face alone, and it's like everybody has decided to leave me alone on my own. So I won't mind at least taking a look at our faces. Let me just take a peep at the various faces of the people I have. I think I can see some people I know already. Okay, let me see. Am I see? Oh, good. All right, great. Okay, thank you so much. All right, so I think I feel comfortable now, so don't let me burn your credit. Hi, Jakub. Oh, good to see everyone. Thank you, good to see your faces again. Okay, all right, so we're trying to set up the system, but we're going to make it very snappy, so you can take off the video if it's not comfortable for you. We're going to make this session very snappy. The reason it's going to be snappy is this: like I told the team, I have other engagements I have to attend to before 5 o'clock, but please just be ready to mute and unmute at various times so that we can have some time to have this conversation together. If I may start this way, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly reel as much as possible through what I have. Then we are now going to have some little interaction. So it's just going to be very, very brief, but it's going to be very, very interesting also. Sorry. Okay, it's more Mimi. I've sent it. Okay, so this thing is very practical. It is extremely practical. I'm sure, is there someone who has never done an interview before? Let me start by asking, is there someone who has never done an interview before? Maybe you've never done a job interview before. Anybody here? Okay, if you've done a job interview, can I hear, yes, I am here. Can I just hear from you? At least let me hear your voices again. If you've done a job interview, let me just hear you. Yo, thank you. Yes, I have. Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Oh, amazing. All right. Thank you so much. And what was your experience like? Just in a word, let me hear from you. Just in a word, what was your experience like? Oh, Sam Clef.
I was sick, it was my first time.
It was your first time. So what was your experience like? Share with me. Angel, you've not.
I was very shaky, and the fact that it was a Chinese man that interviewed me, so I was having difficulties understanding what he was saying.
Okay, thank you so much. What's your name? What's your name? Who's that?
My name is Magdalene, sir.
Okay, Magdalene. All right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. Any other person in a word? What was your experience like? What was your experience like?
It was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
The interviewer was really nice, and the question he asked, I was able to answer them, so it was interesting for me.
Okay, any other experience? I have my colleague as a senior HR Oga. He's headed thousands of people and projects. So he's here with me. His name is Sheyi Dare. He's a master coach. Thank you. All right. Okay, then let me hear one more experience, then we go straight. One more experience.
I had trembling legs.
Okay, trembling legs then. Yeah. Okay, your legs were shaky. Why were your legs shaky? Please share with me.
Yes, because I was just like, I'm scared because of the too much, and the questions were so much. That
Okay,
and
the
that.
question.
Yes,
Okay,
that was what makes me to have the trembling legs.
trembling legs because the questions were
Yes,
too many,
yes,
right?
they were just shaking.
Okay, great. It's always amazing to hear these experiences. I remember a few years ago, we actually interviewed a young lady for country head of marketing for a particular organization in Lekki. And and okay, no, just let me put the email. Sorry, just a second. We're just trying to set up the system so we can have the slide. Okay, can everyone hear me? So I remember this amazing young lady we were trying to interview sometimes, and just two of us. The name of the other person, it was the CEO of the organization. I shouldn't mention his name. It's a very popular brand. At least they are the ones they sponsored Nigeria at some point to the Olympics. So it was a relatively big brand, and in the course of the interview, this young lady, and she's not Nigerian, she just came from Dublin, Ireland, and we were just doing the basic Nigerian thing. And this lady got to a point, she just looked at me straight and she started crying. As in, she was weeping. We're like, what happened? She was really crying. She couldn't answer any other question again. And being the not too nice person that I can be, straight off, I just recommended to the MD. I just said, you know what? I think we should just let this girl go. She's not fit for the job. Because if you want to be the country head of marketing of an organization, and you are unable to do these basics, then trust me, if you are crying, does it mean that if you meet a difficult customer, you're going to spend your time crying? And the only thing I just did was, you know what? Let this girl go. But the MD actually told me something. And the MD said, let's give her a second chance. And that's what I'm going to pinpoint it from. Not everybody will have a second chance. So you should have this at the back of your mind that anytime you're going for an interview, it may be your one and only chance. The reason I'm trying to set up the system is I have some statistics I've reeled out here, and I don't just want to reel it out. I want you to see it with your eyes. Don't worry, we're still going to meet up with the expected time that we want to do. And not everybody is ever going to have the second chance. Not everybody. But at the end of the day, by the time this lady got a second chance, she did so well that the lady actually, she beat our imagination. And by the time we employed her to the organization, we later discovered she has a lot to offer, a whole lot to offer. When I say a lot to offer, I mean she took the level from 0.0 to 0.100. That means another point I want you to know when it comes to interviews is you may have a lot within yourself, but if you are unable to pass the message of that amazing thing that you have within yourself, trust me, you will not be able to get the job. Yes, you know the job, you know the what, you know your value, you know what you want to bring into the organization, but the essence of the interview is show me the what, show me your value, show me what you are bringing in. So if you have it within and you are unable to show it without, it's as good as not having anything at all. And you know how painful it is when you know this thing, when you know I have a lot to offer, when you know this thing they're asking is so simple, but you cannot pass it across. You cannot convince the people. It all ends up to be a joke. If you are with me, can I just hear you on mute and tell me check? Can you just check me there? Can you just tell me check? Let me know that you're with me. Good. Just check. Thank you. Thank you. So the good thing about this kind of session when I have with people is because I like it being interactive. When it is making sense to you, just feel free to unmute and tell me check. That's all. Don't wait till my hand. Once you're getting it, just, like in church, somebody's going to scream, yes, sir. That's how I know that somebody's hearing me and I'm making sense. So if I don't hear it, check till the end. Don't say it to make me happy now. So if I don't hear it, check to, I know I've not struck anything. So thank you for that. So back to what I'm trying to say. So you need to be able, so your assignment in going for an interview is being able to pass something across, being able to pass a message across, being able to impact and send your knowledge across, being able to convince your interviewers that indeed you know what you're doing. So let me go straight to this point right now. Don't worry, we're still going to set up. We're almost done setting up. So you're going to see what I'm talking about. Now, number one point you should hear is this. In Nigeria, at the moment, get the statistics very well. At the moment in Nigeria, we have over 64 million. Guys, calculate it. We have over 64 million youths in Nigeria alone. Get that fact. Over 64 million youths beat the total population of lots and lots of countries around the world. Those are the youths we have. I'm not telling you about children and youths. I'm telling you about just the youths in Nigeria. And the youths we have right now are well over 64 million. Those are the people within 15 and 35. And I think that's the age range that we are focusing on in TAFTA. So I assume everybody I'm talking with are definitely between this age range. Look at yourself. Just look at anybody around you. And trust me, you have 63,999,999 other people beside you within your age range currently in Nigeria. That's one thing you should know about yourself. Number two thing is that we have a very high youth employment rate. Get this very well. Some people said it is 52%. Some people said it is 56% in the world. And let me tell you something, this is the second highest across the entire world. Hear it again. Some people said our unemployment rate, I don't want to give you one authoritatively because based on whether you're checking Nigeria Bureau of Statistics or you're checking Statistica or you're checking some of them, some said the unemployment rate is between 52%. Hear it very well again. And 56%, which makes it the second highest in the world. What does this mean? This means that if you go to the United States of America, they're about right now, where they have less than 10%. Do you understand? Unemployment rate, it means that currently at the moment, you have almost 5 or 4 times as much opportunity to get a job. So for every single effort you make in America, you have to make like 4 times that particular effort in Nigeria to get a job. Hear it again. So if you send one CV in the United States of America, you have to send 4 to 5 other CVs in Nigeria before you can land a job, because our unemployment rate is the second highest right now globally. Now, here are these few facts also that I'm about to throw for you guys so you can get, oh, are we here? Okay, we're here now. All right. I think we're almost done setting up now. See these facts. Okay. Host right now. Am I the host? So can I have someone? Hello, Julia. Hello, Julia. Are you there,
Yes,
Juliana?
I'm here, Mr. Muyiwa.
Okay, yeah. So please, I want to add another system so you can make this thing better right now. Is it possible for me to do it here?
Okay, let me quickly work on that.
Okay, to co-hosts right now. So what's the name? Yeah, Sheidare. So there's a Sheidare there. Help me make Sheidare the co-host so that we can use that system also. Thank you very much. Now, get these facts very well. And I'm going to be telling you the facts about whatever kind of interview you go for. And one of the reasons that leads to a lot of people not getting jobs is the fact that lots of our youths do not know how to. Lots of our youths do not know how to answer interview questions. And that's where we're going right now. That's what we are doing. I remember a scenario of a particular boss I had. He just came back from the United Kingdom. That was way back around 2012. And the boss told me, he said, Moiwa, we're almost 300 that applied for 4 or 5 roles in the organization. And I remember to be the head of the organization, then there was a tie between myself and someone. And at the end of the day, I rejected the offer because the offer was good, but it wasn't perfectly what I was looking for. And later I became my mentor and we got talking. He said, Wewa, of all the people I interviewed for the job, over 98% of the people I interviewed for the job, a job 300 applicants were not fit for the job. He said the most painful thing was that in the course of the interview, the friends I brought from the United Kingdom were extremely disappointed at what they were seeing. It simply means that average Nigerian young people are not totally prepared for the interview process. So I'm going to give you some quick facts. So if you have a pen and paper there, just feel free and recheck this thing. That is, for every job, note point number 1. I will rush through it because of our time. I still want you to ask questions. Point number 1 is this: for every job that is thrown out there in Nigeria and in the United States of America, a lot of this research were in the USA. And I told you, for everyone in Nigeria, you have 4 to 5 times of that kind of effort in Nigeria. Now, this American organization said for every one job opening that is thrown out there, there are 118 competing CVs. I don't know if anybody heard me. That for every single job opening that somebody decided to say, I need a customer service officer, there's an average of 118 other CVs also coming in for that particular role on the average. It means in some cases it is less. If you channel it through the right route, you channel it through LinkedIn, a professional helps you to channel it. I'm not talking about somebody who doesn't know about HR or who doesn't know much about those things, but when the right person helps you channel it, you get an average of 118 competing CVs. That's point number 1. Now, point number 2 is this: 47% of the interviewers don't hire candidates who do not know about the company at all. I don't know if you got that fact. That in as much as they discuss with you in the course of an interview, these are still facts. We'll now go to what to do. Just get that if they ask you, tell me about us, what do you know about us? And you are unable to say anything meaningful, when they ask you, over 47% of the people you are talking to are going to mark you down that this person did not even research us. This person does not know us. So if this person is lazy enough not to research us, nothing assures us that this person is going to go over the board on our work. So what is that simply trying to say? That is simply trying to tell us that you have to research the organization. That is what this is simply trying to tell us. Number 3, team. Are you still there? Can I hear you check me if you're still there?
Check.
Oh, beautiful. Now, point number 3, thank you very much. Get this third fact again. 33% of employers, someone just told me not too long ago that she had a shaky leg, right? Now, another thing says 33% of employers, hear it again, 33% of employers say that fidgeting too much is a common mistake employees make. Prospective employees. Those are interviewees. So when they start to interview you and they see you shaking, I'm sure telling people take it easy, right? Now, by the time you are already doing that and telling people to calm down and take it easy, this is what is happening. The simple thing that is happening is this: that this particular people, okay, sorry, Oh, good. Okay, okay. Sheida is the host now. Thank you so much. So we can share what we are saying. Now we found out that by the time they are telling you to calm down, by the time they are telling you to take it easy, some are really nice. But guess what they are checking? They are noting that your level of confidence is not so high. And like we said, you have only one opportunity to impress at that particular time. Now, statistics number 4. Thank you so much. Oh, great. Can you see my slide here now? Can you see my
Yes.
slide? Oh, excellent. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you. Okay, let's, great. So you can see the slide better. Excellent. Thank you so much. My guy is gone. Thank you so much, bro. Now, only 2% of applicants receive a job interview of the people that have sent CVs. So you know that even for you to be called for an interview, like I said, 118 competing CVs. So you've even passed the first hurdle of that competition. Now, point number 5 is 33% of recruiters know that they will hire you within your first 90 seconds of being on the job. There's something called the 60-second rule in reading a CV. Somebody actually said it's now less to 30 to 40 seconds. How many of you know that your recruiter uses an average of 30 to 40 seconds? Are you there? Can you hear me?
Check.
Hello, can you hear me?
Check. Yes, we can hear.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much. Now, how many of you know that an average interviewer does between 30 to 40 seconds to review your entire CV? What we do is this. We have only... Hey, so can you please mute if you're there? Now, we have only few seconds. There are only major things we're looking out for when we're checking your interview, when we're checking your CV. So what it means is this, that for the 2% that have been called for that interview, you shook that thing, but we need you to come and show it. Now, 33% know that they will hire you within your first 90 seconds. There are keywords they want to hear from you. There's an attitude, there's a behavior, there's a reaction, there's something they want to see you see. That's why they're going to start with briefly introduce yourself. If we had all the time, I would have told you to introduce yourselves, then I would have pinpointed something to you. Now, 77, hear this one, 77% of recruiters see typos or poor grammar as deal breakers. And if I can assure almost everybody I'm checking your CVs, that if I check the CV, almost 50% of CVs will have typos. Currently in my mail, I have over 1,000 CVs. And I can tell you that in almost all the CVs I have, for a role or the other, I see typos or not. But check this, 77%. And don't forget, your employer tells you, they bring out your CV while they are talking to you. They are listening to your English. How many of you know that part of what they rate is what you speak, what you say? So if your English is not so perfect yet, it's not impressive. 77% see typos and poor grammar as deal breakers, and 35% feel the same about unprofessional email. So for you that use sexy nature, masculine mama, for you that use dangerous CVs like beautyforreal@gmail.com, are you cracking jokes? They see you as an unserious person. So you need to start checking these things in your CVs. You need to start checking these things. You have 7 seconds to make a good first impression. Did you just hear that? As 65% of candidates don't make eye contact. That don't make eye contact don't get the job. If you're there and you're very good at making eye contact, can I hear your check now? If you are good at making eye contact and you're there, let me hear your check.
Check.
Oh, you're very
Check.
good at making eye contact. Oh, amazing. I have a lot of people who are good at that now.
Check.
Another point, thanks. Let me rush through. 55% of interviewers. So I hope some of you are beginning to see right now your lapses in your previous interviews. But 55% of interviewers say interviewees respecting dress codes make a great first impression, or they make great first impressions. I remember one day I was doing a virtual. Okay, let me share this funny story. This happened barely 1 or 2 months ago. A colleague who's a recruiter, he said he was doing an interview for someone, and the next thing he saw, because the person requested that let's have this interview for 8 a.m. He told the Gen Z, you know, Gen Zs right now among us, you guys are the most amazing guys. And he told the person, let's have the interview session, though virtual, for 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. And the Gen Z agreed. Guess what the Gen Z wore for the interview? The Gen Z wore a pajamas, like a pajamas. I'm not exaggerating. A pajamas for the interview, for the interview. And when they asked the Gen Z, why are you wearing pajamas for an interview? You know how pajamas can be. They asked, why are you wearing this for the interview? The girl simply said, but you that you scheduled an interview for 8 a.m. for someone who is at home, what else do you want me to wear my suits? Because I'm coming to meet with you by 8 a.m. Obviously, no. And instantly, the recruiter guy put on our HR platform. He said, obviously, nobody here will recruit such a person. And all recruiters were amazed. It means that some people do not know it is bad. You see, the first thing your person sees, the thing that creates the first impression, is your dress code. You're wearing the wrong shoes, you're going for an interview, and the best thing you can wear is your nice sneakers and your nice Nike socks and your nice whatever. It depends. If you're going to a corporate place, it's excellent. If you are going to a semi-formal place, so you need to check where you're going before you check what you wear. But your wrong dress code may make you lose the job to 55% of people. Average time for an interview is 45 minutes. 75% of employers are keen on availability of key skills. 90.6% of employers prefer the candidates to have the right work experience. And required candidates, get that again, required candidates are 5 times more likely opportunity to be hired. I won't elaborate. Rejection rate for resumes with photos is 88%. I've seen 1 or 2 or 3 resumes with photos. Myself, I never move close to them. So you have to be careful. If you have one on your resume, please throw it away. 47% of job seekers get invited to 1 or 2 interviews after submitting up to 10 applications. So if you're a job seeker and you are tired, don't be tired. Have you done up to 10? Average is 1 to 2 interviews per up to 10 applications. So don't be tired till you get that job. And 40%, check this is the statistics, 40% of applicants lie during interview. Why did he enter research? Because they noticed interviewees lie. So don't think your interviewer doesn't know you lie when you lie. And 40% of employers decline interviewees who show no enthusiasm during the process. I'll tell you how. And 39% leave a bad impression due to their overall confidence level, voice quality, and lack of smile to those who are very shaky. Now, this is what we hold. I decided to bring this so you can just check this in 30 seconds. Anytime we're interviewing you, this is an idea of what we hold. So when you see them writing things, when you see your interviewers writing things, this is what they hold. So I want you to have this cheat code. So look at it very well. They are checking your education, right? They want to know whether you have a BSc or any kind of education. That's what they are checking. They are checking your relevant work experience. I get amazed when young people tell me that I've never worked in my life. Even as a fresh graduate, it's okay not to have ever worked. But sometimes it's more impressive when you come and said, well, I never got a job. You know, I'm a fresh graduate, but during my holiday, I decided to be an intern in an organization. So not to now talk of someone who's graduated for 1-2 years and has never worked because he never got a job. What about internship? Is it also a job? Yes, it is. Related computer skills. You know that we are in an AI world right now. I still interviewed someone just this last weekend. And the first thing I asked, how good are you on the system? Because once you are not good on the system, it's a no-no. We will never give you the job. I just did a consulting job for an organization, and I found out that over 60% of the employees in the organization are not good on the computer. These are people in their 40s and 50s and 60s, and they are not good on the computer. And I told the CEO of the organization, I said, if I am to recruit these people, I will never employ them on the job. Right now, their jobs are, because that was my recommendation. So if you are there and you're not good on the system, you're not, they ask you for Word. If you don't know more than Word and Excel, just to fill in Excel, you're not good on PowerPoint. Trust me, you're reducing your ability to get the job. Your written communication skills, we've talked about it. Your attention to details. Let me tell you an interview that happened. The one I said I was one of the best when my boss came from UK. The tiebreaker was this. The man looked at me and the next person, because two of us were the best and he needed the head of the organization among two of us. He just gave us a question paper and he said we should fill because we showed so much confidence. And he said, you know what, these are 10 simple questions. Answer the 10 questions. Guess what was in the instruction? The instruction is do not answer questions 6 and 7. For me, because they told me it was just 4 minutes, I just picked the paper. These ones are easy. I just started thinking, yes, no. By the time I was in question 7, when I was in question 8 or question 9, he now said, hope you did not answer question 6 and 7. That was how I lost the managerial position. Attention to details. Your employers want to see that. They want to see whether you are cooperative. They want to see your manners. They want to see whether you can take initiative. They want to see your stress tolerance. Sometimes they deliberately decide to upset you. It's an old style, but some people still engage that system where they say something that will piss you off, and they want to see whether you're going to be pissed off or not. Attitude. Your professional demeanor, they want to see that. Now, let's go to this thing straight up. I'm sure that by now, you would have started judging yourself. What do you do before an interview? Number one thing is this: when they send you a mail, please acknowledge the mail appropriately with the right tenses. Dear whatever, we have looked at your CV and we wish to invite you for an interview on Monday, 17th of January. Impression step number 1. Dear Mr. Osahon, he's going to write his name there. He's going to write his position. Thank you so much. I don't want to tell you the things I get. How many of you send CVs and you send FYA for your attention to a recruiter? I don't want to go there because of our time. I would have opened your eyes to things like that. Those are things you throw away instantly. Dear Mr. Osahon, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I wish to inform you that I will be available for the interview. Looking forward to meeting with you. Thank you, sir. Whether virtual or physical. Some of us will not even respond till that day. Those are things you do before the interview, pre-interview. Number 2 thing, research the organization very well. I'm sure you remember what I told you, that most employers will not hire people, 47%, who have no knowledge of the organization. And in most interviews, they will ask you, what do you know about us? So research your employer. What do they do? What's their salary structure? As much as possible, try to know. I was still talking to 1 or 2 people yesterday, and they were telling me about the organization, and they said the mistake I made, I did not negotiate well because you did not research well. It was when he got inside, he now noticed that almost 90% of his colleagues were earning far higher than him. Now he's unhappy at the job. You did not research well. What kind of people do they engage? Do they like artistic people or serious people? If you are very artistic and you want to go work in Deloitte, you have to think once or twice. Research very well. What type of people do they love to employ? How do they impact the economy? It's impressing when an employer tells you, tell me about us. What do you know about us? And you begin to reel out as much as possible. Last year, you made a profit of this. This is what you do. These are the states you are. They look at you and say, indeed, this person is prepared for us. Research well. Number 3, read and study. Study your CV. If I ask, listen, I'm so sure by the virtue of experience, if I ask 100% of us, tell me your career objective that is in your CV. Over 70% of people listening to me now cannot tell me what is their career objective on their CV, word for word. You've not even read. If you cannot read your resume, I'm sure you're not prepared for the interview. People cannot explain their resumes, and recruiters have come to one decision. They write CVs for people. It's not people that wrote their CVs themselves. You should be able to. I did an interview. Let me share a practical experience. Somebody please, can you please mute? Somebody's talking on the ground there. Somebody's talking on the ground there. So there is someone that I know that what they decided, I went for an interview. Oh, in this particular oil and gas organization. When I was done, thank you. When I was done with reading out everything on my CV, my prospective employer at that time, who's not Nigerian, looked at me and she started looking at my CV and told me to explain everything as it is in my CV, word for word. And I began again to check everything, step after step, activity after activity. Person I met after person I met. By the time I was done, no more question. See you some other time. That was what moved me to the next phase of the interview. Have you read your CV? Do you even know your CV? They are going to ask you for some things. I'm not talking about tests now. Do you know what they are likely to ask you? The simplest thing to go is to go to Google. If they are inviting you for customer service, go and Google sample interview questions for customer service officer. Go there and check sample interview question for artists. Sample interview question is there. You will see over 100. Is on Google, but some of us do not even read. Study well and read well, know how to answer. Then I said, ensure that your laptop and your internet are well connected. Before the interview, I had a young lady I recommended for a job. Becca, like I mentioned, there are 1 million Rebeccas in the world. When I recommended this young lady, I was on the panel too, and I recommended her for the job. Guess what? As we started the interview, our network was the worst I've ever seen in the world. And guess what? As it was so bad, Nigerian interviewers are not as patient. After using 7 minutes, please change your location. Can you please change your location? Can you please move to another location? And I was with the CEO who never has time. The man looked at me and said, Muiwa, cut it, I'm not interested. I said, please, let's give this person a second chance. The man said, Muiwa, I said, cut it. I'm not interested in this kind of a person who is not even prepared for our interview. So you need to ensure that everything is set. Your system, your laptop, your everything well connected. You are prepared. Your clothes is set. Your location is set. You would have picked out where you want to use. It's not the interview time. You're going to be picking it out. And finally, that is pre-interview. Prepare your dress. It's not that money you'll be borrowing money. Employers sometimes get pissed off when they now start seeing you sending messages. It happens once in a while, but it shouldn't be constant. When you're now sending messages, I'm sorry, sir, I'll be 30 minutes late. Traffic on 3rd Milan Bridge. Tell me you didn't know that there's always traffic on 3rd Milan Bridge before today. Some employers will hold, prospective employees will hold an entire panel. It simply shows that they have no regard for time. Let me rush on to during the interview. Dress well. You are addressed the way you are dressed. Listen to me, friends. Not everybody's going to have a very nice suit, but the shirt and the tie and the trouser you have, you may even decide to borrow your shoes. No big deal. It has happened to lots of people before, but make sure it is neat. Make sure it is okay. Make sure it is well starched. You start and kill it, and iron it well, and let it stand on your body and look neat for the purpose of that interview. Dress well. Don't sag. Don't wear crop. Don't wear a cropped dress because you don't even know the people you're gonna meet on the panel. You may even be in an artistic location. Excellent, but it's an interview. You don't want to mess up. You may go there and they will tell you that you've overdressed. Excellent. But it's better they tell you you've overdressed than they tell you what are you wearing. So why not dress neatly? Don't wear pajamas and take people for granted. Don't wear trash. I've seen it once, I've seen it twice. I've seen somebody I invited for an interview because it was virtual. This guy was wearing t-shirts with a stretched neck. You know why these t-shirts that you washed and the neck is stretched all over. And I was like, geez, why did I waste my time? It did not take me more than 5 minutes. Well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure meeting with you. Have a nice time. This person is going to disgrace our company in the near future. Ensure your environment is good. I remember someone who were interviewing sometimes, and Mr. Coyote, I don't know if he's on this call. I don't know. I was with TAFTA. We were interviewing a young lady who we picked up from Ogun State. I can see that the Ogun program manager is here. A young lady wanted to give the opportunity to do something and wanted to employ her in TAFTA. And she was in a very noisy place. And she had known over 24 hours that she was writing this interview. There was so much noise everywhere. And we're like, please, can you? And she said, can you hear me? Can you hear me? People are making noise here. Let me go to the roadside. Oh no, that was the last interview we had with that lady. Ensure that your environment is good. No noise, no loitering around, no messing around, no faffing around. Show good attitude. I was speaking, there's a big construction company in Lagos here. I was speaking with the COO of the organization. He's one of the biggest employers of young people. The Ogun program manager will know them. This construction company, what's their name again? I will remember their name, but they employ a lot of people from LSCTF. This Doman, I'm sure this Femi will know him. And the COO told me, and the lady said that in our organization, we do not employ majorly for skills. We employ for attitude. I said, why, ma? She said, because skills can be learned, but attitudes stay with you forever. Should I tell you an issue? What a lot of the employers look at, while we want to be impressed and wowed by your skills, we look at your attitude. Let me tell you where it starts from. You're banging in, you're going to an interview and you're wearing one dirty looking sandal. It shows you don't even care about the people you're going to meet. And you get in there and you bounce and say, good morning, everybody, good morning. Because people don't know the difference between confidence and arrogance. And you look at them like they are your classmates, and they tell you to sit down, and you just sit anyhow, and you rest your back as if, what's the big deal? Then you begin to swivel the chair like you are the CEO of the organization, and you go in and you sit down even without being told to sit down. What it simply tells us is you have no manners, you have no etiquette, you don't understand the business mannerism. That's what it means. So you need to understand this step-by-step procedure. It's not hypocrisy. When you enter the organization, you don't need to fear again. Enter anywhere, anyhow. But at that moment, you have to be very careful. Show good attitude. Even when you are kept in hidden places, there are some organizations, the first hidden places they keep you, they are watching you, checking how you are talking to your colleagues. There's a CCTV somewhere. Good attitude. Perfect confidence is important. When they shake you, please shake firmly. But don't overshake your prospective employer. Don't break your employers and but shake very firmly. Look straight into their eyes. Smile at them. I remember my second TAFTA interview. I wish Mr. Joe was here. I don't know if the people that interviewed me were here, my friends that interviewed me. And I asked them, I said, after telling you people about myself, nobody asked me a question again. They said, because when we said, tell me about yourself, you were the one talking, you were the one telling us about yourself, you were the one laughing at your jokes, you were the one saying everything, and in 10 10 minutes, we knew everything about you that there was nothing to ask again. We've seen that you're a happy person. We've seen that you're good. We like your attitude. We like your experience. We like your knowledge. And by 10 minutes, I was done with the interview. Why? Because they want you to show good confidence. There's a difference between arrogance and confidence. Now, let me go to the final one because of our time. Task your brain. Task your brain, people. They're going to ask you some questions. Don't be quick to answer every question. It doesn't mean that you should waste their time too. Please, you can decide to follow the 10-second rule. Tell me about yourself. Buy some time by first smiling. Buy another 4 seconds by answering, okay. You bought 10 seconds. My name is Olumuyiwa Bolayiwa. I attended Federal University of Technology, Akure, where I studied estate management. I had my master's degree. They know you are no for every question. They're going to ask you some questions that are meant to put you in a fix. But trust me that what they are doing is they're checking a lot of things about you. Task your brain. Don't be lazy. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to ask you things. They're going to ask you things that they need you to have done properly. So they need to see that you are able to use your brain. They may ask you, so there are things in interviews we call scenarios. So there's something we call scenario testing. What do you refer to as scenario testing? Scenario testing is, okay, hi. Sorry, I'm on a training session. Thank you. All right. So scenario testing is a situation where they ask you for something that has never happened before. They ask you for something that has never happened before. So sometimes they need to see in those scenarios that you are able to think on your feet. They want to check that you are able to think on your feet. That's what you call scenario testing. So they need to see that you are able to communicate the values you want to bring on board. And finally, when it comes to your post-interview, so sorry, my colleagues are already reminding me that we have to move for 5. And finally, post-interview. After your interview, people, you need to learn the mannerism of sending appreciation mails. Appreciate the people that brought you on board. Send a mail. That's what 90% of those people don't do. Do you want to send a mail? Dear sir, thank you so much for taking out time from your busy schedule to interview me. I am someone, you can add a bit again about that amazing thing you can do. Just for your information, sir, I did the data analysis of over 100,000 people for so organization as so place. However, I will be glad to proceed to the next phase of this interview with you. Looking forward, as I hope that I will be opportune to meet with you again. Thank you so much, sir. You are enforcing what you have done and was over for your colleagues. So that is how that you do it, but never mount pressure on your employer. Let me give you some quick facts, things you should never do. Don't forget I told you statistics, do not lie. Your employers know when you lie. Hi, but don't overhype. I can't tell us the story again because it's almost 5. Know your words, but don't be unrealistic. A fresh graduate tells me he wants to earn 800,000 naira now. And I'm like, are you kidding me? If I give you 800,000, what value are you also bringing on board? He doesn't know. I am going to train him on the job. He doesn't even know the job, but he wants 800,000 in Nigeria of today. That's a waste of money. At least in most organizations. I'm not talking about the oil companies and stuff like that. So you need to know your worth, but don't be unrealistic. And finally, feel free, but don't lose guard. When they give you opportunity to sip tea, don't sip tea anyhow, like somebody that doesn't have manners. They are checking you. Don't sip tea and pour tea on your body. Don't sip tea and sit like this. I say because they are cracking jokes with you, you can sit anyhow. I can assure you that with these little things, I'm going to share the slide so you can take time to go through it again. If you can, with the simple things, I can assure you that you will have a very good time in the interview. And if you can obey these basic rules, you will be able to move on to the next level of your interview. At this point, I want to say thank you so much. I apologize for my inability to spend so much time, but still thank you everybody for this wonderful opportunity. You can go ahead and ask questions right now. I can answer that on the go in the next 5 to, oh, we still have 6 minutes, in the next 6 minutes. Over to you, Juliet. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. So does anyone have any question?
So if you have questions, thank you for thanking me. Thank you for thanking me. Well, if, okay, Ali Ayomide, I think has questions, okay. Oh, there are many hands. I'm sorry, I'll go on audio, but I can hear you and I will answer all your questions. I hope I'm permitted to be on audio so I can answer one after the other.
Yes, sir, you are. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, yeah. So go ahead and ask me the questions. I'm happy to hear.
Okay, why don't we drop our questions in the chat box? Because I see that some people already dropped a few questions. So Ali Ayomide Miriam asked, please, my question is, how do you get to research about any organization that has called you for an interview? Is it on Google or by an internal influence or with somebody from the organization? So that's the question from Ali Ayomide Miriam.
All right, thank you so much, ma'am. The way I research, as Muiwa, like you said, number one is on Google. Google is the fastest and easiest place to go in the world. So what I do is I go on Google. I don't just go on Google. How many of us are very good on LinkedIn? I also go on LinkedIn to check. I don't just check the organization. I check the people that have worked in the organization. I check the caliber of people that have worked. I check what they've done at a time or the other. I check their academic records. I check, those are a few things I check about the people that have been in these places. So it gives me an idea of the kind of people that have been in this place. So it's not just a function of Google, it's beyond Google. So then apart from that, I also look for one-on-one people that I can meet, to people that I know that have actually done these things before. So especially if I'm lucky to now meet someone who's worked in a place like that before, it makes it very easy for me to get the information I need. So I explore every route, I explore every avenue to get to know about it. So beyond people, I even ask people. I check social networks. I check places like that where I can get information about one or two people. So I don't limit it to Google. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So are there any other questions? Because in the chat box, I'm not seeing. Okay. HCMA Chidima. I have noticed that some HR employers invite people for an interview and delay people before they are attended to. I have experienced this many times and I assume it has become a norm. Is it the right way to act on the part of HR or employer?
Absolutely not. I can assure you that even in a lot of professional, when it comes to HR platforms, they talk about it. At least I know I belong to 4, 5, 6 of such platforms. And the one of the few things everybody talks about is this particular norm you are mentioning. And people have issues with this particular kind of norm. People complain about it. HR professionals complain about this kind of norm too because they feel it is not right. So in short, let me just answer in a word. It shouldn't be. It is wrong. But unfortunately, they are still fighting among themselves on how to correct this trend. So it's a bad trend and it shouldn't be at all. But when it happens, like I tell people, when it happens to you, I know someone that it happened to in the organization. It's not even the HR, it's the CEO. She was upstairs doing nothing, and it was a thing. But the CEO refused to see the people. The next thing that was going to happen was that after the CEO refused to meet with the people and see the people, the HR had to, before we came downstairs, the employee decided to go. By the time the employee decided to go, she was ready. Everybody that waited on the job, the CEO gave them a job. It means the person that decided to go lost the job because of impatience. So I tell people, you are the one looking for the job. Just swallow the humble pie and wait. Just swallow the humble pie.
Hello, sir. We can't hear you clearly.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
So I'm so
Welcome.
sorry. I'm so sorry for the break. So what I say is that no matter what it is, no matter an idea of what it is, please just be patient. I think I have to go now. I'm so sorry. I may not be able to take any other question again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. It was a very wonderful session. Yes.
Thank you so
for
much,
the
sir. I really
information.
appreciate your time.
All right, everyone. Thank you for attending today's masterclass. We are hoping you would attend our other masterclasses that we have planned for you. Please, any other questions that you have, you can drop them in the group chats. I will try to attend to them as soon as we can. Thank you, Juliet. Thank you, Mr. Femi. Thank you, Favor. Thank you, everyone that. All right, so I think today this will be the end for today's masterclass. Thank you for coming, and we will see you in our next one. Bye, everyone.
Bye.